Hey everyone, today I'm making a video that's a bit more meaningful than usual. This is my dad's old pruning shear. He was a hard-working gardener who spent most of his days caring for the yard. I want to see how much of this tool I can bring back to life. With a bit of effort and patience, maybe we can restore not just an old piece of metal, but also the memories that come with it. I've got to admit, this shear is sitting at roughly 40% rust. You can tell it's been left untouched for quite a while. Before doing anything serious, I'm going to start by spraying a light coat of multi-purpose oil over the whole surface. I'll let it soak in for a moment, so the rust begins to loosen up. No need to rush. Right now the goal is not just cleaning it, but preserving whatever history this old tool still carries. Next, I'm going to take this shear apart piece by piece. It makes the cleaning process a whole lot easier. Once the parts are separated, you can actually see all the dirt and rust hiding in places you'd never notice from the outside. Just slow and steady. Each screw, each metal plate. So by the time we reassemble it, everything fits back together clean and solid. This is baking soda, and I'm using it as a kind of gentle abrasive layer to deal with the remaining rust. I coat every surface of the shear, even the tiny gaps you barely notice. Then I add white vinegar. Once they react, the bubbling starts to lift the rust right off the metal. What I like about this method is that it's strong enough to break down oxidation, but still gentle enough not to damage the steel underneath. After letting the mixture sit for a bit, the stubborn rust loosens by itself, revealing the original metal finish that's been hiding underneath all this time. After letting the mixture sit for a while, it's time to move on to a more hands-on step, sanding off the loosened rust. At this point, the metal surface isn't as stubborn anymore, so the sanding becomes smoother and more controlled. I'm using medium, grit sandpaper, strong enough to lift the rust, but still gentle enough to avoid scratching the steel underneath. Working along the grain of the metal, you can actually watch the rust crumble away, revealing cleaner, brighter steel. It feels a bit like bringing an old tool back from a long sleep. With that, we've pretty much wrapped up the initial cleaning phase. Most of the rust is gone, and the metal is already looking a lot fresher. Now I'm going to rinse all the parts with clean water to remove any remaining baking soda, vinegar residue, or rust dust. After rinsing everything with clean water, I'm doing one final pass using multi-purpose oil. This step helps remove any remaining residue while leaving a thin protective layer on the metal. I work the oil into every part, letting it reach even the smallest gaps. I'm using a combination of multi-purpose oil and a welding rod to clean the surface of the shear blades. The oil reduces friction, while the rod helps lift any stubborn rust stuck on the steel. I work carefully along the cutting edge, cleaning without damaging the sharpness. This is a crucial step. It ensures the blades are not only clean, but also retain the edge they had originally. All right, that wraps up the cleaning. Now I'm taking a soft cloth to wipe down each part, making sure there's no leftover oil or debris. Then I'll reassemble the shear piece by piece, carefully aligning every connection. There's a great feeling in seeing something that once looked old and rusted come back together, clean, sharp, and ready to be used again. The hinge of the shear is now fully flexible. That means the mechanism moves smoothly, and we can use it normally without any issues. You can see how clean that cut is. The shear is back in action. If you enjoyed this video, Hit like and drop a comment sharing any old tools you'd like to restore.